This one, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was hesitant to put on this list, and then I thought about putting it at the very end of the list. But God put it in my spirit to put it here, to talk about this, and let's just get to it. So the third feminine trait men find irresistible is being submissive. Now listen, I know a lot of you do not like the word submissive, and it can be very triggering, all right? And I want you to understand, let me make it very clear right now. This is not about you letting some man become your dictator. This is not about you being a weak vessel so that you can't lead yourself. You're incapable of holding yourself up, okay? It is simply about understanding the beneficial dynamics of men and women being in relationships, all right? A heterosexual relationship. And so here's the thing you have to understand. Let me start off by saying this. From all my years of doing this, and I've been doing this, 12, 13 years, what I have learned is that at the core of this discussion, at the core of this topic, the issue is not really about submission. The issue is about trusting a man to lead, okay? And it's very important that we lay it out that way, because I always say, if a woman, most women, if an angel could come down from heaven right now and say, listen, God's going to give you a man. This man is going to never hurt you, never cheat on you, be everything you need him to be. And all we need you to do is submit to him. The majority of women be like, sign me up. Where can I get one of those? All right. Because again, it's not a problem for a lot of women to actually embrace submission if they feel like they can be safe there. The rejection of it in many cases is the fact that there's such a negative perception of men's ability to lead, the safety of trusting a man in the long run, that women then reject the idea of submission. Now, let me also put this out there. When we talk about it from a very spiritual perspective, understand there's a level of submission that both sides are doing to each other. The man is submitting to the wife, the woman is submitting to the man. But yes, there is but then there is that next level, so to speak. So if we look at it from three layers, I'll break it down like this. There is the layer one. Woman and man submit to each other. They're submitting to each other's needs. They're pouring into each other. You know what I'm saying? They're a team. They're coming together. Layer two is the woman submitting to the man. And that layer two is more so like recognizing him as head of household, allowing him to be the full leader. And again, it's important that you understand that giving him the lead in that way does not mean you don't have a voice. I do not advocate for taking the woman's voice away. But what I do advocate is taking the burden off the woman. And I think that when a woman is with the right man in the right relationship and she is able to submit, she is able to be free. She is able to walk even more in her feminine energy. She is able to be at peace. She doesn't have to carry the burden of, I got to get this done. I got to do this. I got to make this decision and all these things. It doesn't mean you don't got an opinion. It doesn't mean he doesn't take into account how you feel, because he should. And I'm going to always encourage that with men. But it just means, okay, he's earned your trust. And not just he's earned your trust. If you are with the person that you know God wants you to be with, then you trust God enough to say, all right, if you're saying this is the guy for me, then I can give him that submission. Okay? Which is why the third layer of this is the man submitting to God. So listen, from my perspective, I'm a man of God. I'm not going to tell any woman to submit to a man who does not submit to God. I'm not saying you cannot have this dynamic outside of a spiritual relationship and those who are believers, but this is the concept or the dynamic with which I work in, okay? And so I'm going to, pass that along to the viewers. But you are allowed to apply this in your own way if you got to. But anyways, so when we understand that a lot of women ultimately at the core of it do not have an issue with submission, and I would even argue that there is a natural occurrence when a woman is When a woman is not holding on to past hurt and past issues and past disappointment, so she's healed, all right? Or at least she's healthy, and she is with a masculine man, and they are pouring into each other, there is an innate, not just desire, but a natural occurrence of her being more submissive to him. And again, it's not taken into some negative, horrible way because the intentions are good from both sides. And so the thing, though, that women have to understand, because I know a lot of women will say, well, exactly, if these men would just be more masculine, if they would be more trustworthy, they would lead, I would have no problem. But notice what I said, if the woman is healthy emotionally. The problem is if you are not healthy emotionally as a woman, not only will you block your ability to walk in your femininity in a general sense, but what will happen in these situations where you come across a masculine man is that, yes, you will more than likely find yourself being more feminine and being more submissive while with this man. But then because you have not healed, those unhealed parts of you will kind of poke you like, hey, what's going on here? Don't let him have that much power over you. And again, I'm saying it like that because that's what your bad devil on your shoulder is going to tell you, okay? But that's not what he's actually trying to do. Is like he's not trying to control you, but your unhealed parts will start to frame it in a negative way. We'll start to be like, wait a minute, I'm too vulnerable here. Wait a minute, what's going on? And so now that becomes this back and forth. Now that becomes this struggle to sustain the femininity, to sustain the submissiveness in that relationship, because you have to heal first. So understand that that's an important piece of this puzzle. You can't just expect the man to make you more feminine. That's not his responsibility. It's for you. And as I said in the very beginning of this video, this is for your own health. So before you even meet a man, you got to learn how to walk in that energy, that spirit already. And that's another thing that's important to understand when we talk about submission, because again, many women will say, I don't have a problem with submission if it's the right guy, if he shows leadership, all these different things, right? But the problem is you don't even exude the ability to do it. And so the man who has the capabilities of leading in love, in pouring into you, in making sure you're good, he doesn't see that spirit coming off of your body. So he's like, nah, okay, I'm going to leave this one alone. She seems too difficult. She seems too walled up. Whatever. It repels him. And so it's important to understand this is why healing is important. This is why walking in your femininity, regardless of you being in a relationship or not, regardless of what's going on, you learning how to tap into that always is going to be what's most beneficial for you in your everyday life, but also what's going to allow you or increase your ability to connect with the right guy and have an amazing, healthy relationship. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. A woman who walks in her femininity walks in her power. And I'm about to help you access that power by giving you 5 feminine traits men find irresistible in women. Now listen, I am a firm believer